Welcome to the Dawn of All Trades show and podcast. You can also reach us at the YouTube channel under the same name, Dawn of All Trades. I am your host, Donovan, along with my co-host and special guest, which is multiple guests. We have 3 guests here.
Justy, Shelly,
Jay.
All right, and today, the podcast flow, this is episode number 1. So stay tuned. All right, so we're joining you guys today. This show is based on New Year's resolution. And yeah, I know we're a little late, but we got to get the podcast jumping. So I'm going to start out, your host, Donovan. My resolution has basically been to stop procrastinating. I have a habit of procrastinating, so yeah, I'm a little late putting this show out. You guys bear with me. Let's go along for the ride, and hope you guys tag along. Share this with a friend, family member, and let's get it cracking. But let's start out with Just D. What's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution mainly is to I really just need to lose like 30 pounds. That's what I really want to do this year.
So, in your your reasoning for wanting to lose, well, of course, you never ask a woman her weight.
No.
But
I was specific, so you can ask.
Okay. But, I mean, why do you feel like you need to lose those pounds? Is it for health reasons, just to look fine? What's your purpose?
I just want to be fine. Really.
Okay.
I just want to be real fine. Okay. Like finer than I was even when I was like 23.
Okay. But we're not going to ask your age because nobody needs to know that.
I'm not 23.
So let's move on, Michelle.
You know what? I don't think I've really committed to a New Year's resolution, and that could be something that I need to resolve to do, is commit.
Okay.
I am more of an easygoing type of person, and I don't really stick to those resolutions. So I think maybe I need to become more committed. Find something, stick with it. So that's still no resolution, but I'm thinking about it.
So I think all of us have an issue with, trying to stick to it. We get hyped up in the moment and it sounds good for the first of the year, then you burn out on it. So I think we all pretty much deal with that. So Jay, what about you? What's your resolution?
I think for me, the goal is to take 2019 to build on what I learned in 2018. Like 2018 was kind of a frisbee for me. Like they could have it back, but got through it. God's grace, and so now that I'm here, I feel like I learned a lot about myself, and some of the connections, relationships that I had, people that I had in my life, and so my goal is to take those lessons that I learned from 2018 and use them to propel me forward in 19. Because it was a challenging year, but glad it's over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure we've all learned something from this year. So what do you feel like, Just D, that you have learned from this past year, what not to do in 2019?
You know what? It's not necessarily what not to do. It's just what's not to do for me, if that makes sense. Because, I mean, you live in this world and they tell you that traditionally you should do this, and that. Well, maybe for you, a non-traditional lifestyle is more interesting. And I'm talking about, or better for you, specifically, how I want to live. How do I want to buy a house? Is that for me or is it not? Right. So, and that's basically what I figured out, is that I don't fit into the cookie cutter box that everybody wants you to be in, that people see that success is. Okay. If that makes sense.
That's important, to define success on your own terms.
Absolutely. Embrace your individuality.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as far as what you've learned, Shell, from your past year, what have you learned what to do and what not to do?
I have learned something about myself that I guess maybe was an epiphany moment, that I am stronger and more capable than I thought I was on my own.
Awesome.
I'm one of those cookie cutter people who always wanted to own her own home, but never wanted to do it on my own. Too scary, too much responsibility on my
It's a
own
big step.
shoulders. And I just decided, why do I have to wait for someone else to come in to make it okay for me to do something that I want to do?
Absolutely.
And so I went ahead and I bit the bullet and I did it on my own. And I never honestly thought that I was capable of holding it down by myself. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, really, I surprised myself that way. I'm really proud of myself too. But much in the way like Dee said, I'm learning that this is for me. Mm-hmm. And now I have to kind of tailor my lifestyle around
you were thinking of the traditional lifestyle of, okay, you find a guy, you get married, y'all buy a house, right? You were thinking of that whole traditional lifestyle. So you stepped out of the box, even though you're very traditional.
In ways,
yes. In some ways, yeah.
Yeah. So I think one of the things I'm going to take with me from last year into this year and kind of try to elevate it is that whole Miss Independent thing that, what else can you do by yourself type of thing while still looking.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, what do you, Jay, feel like you've gotten out of this year that you've been taking to, for this next year that's coming to prosper?
No, absolutely. I think for me, it is, courtesy of you, it's that's like a whole other podcast. But you showed me a lot in terms of what I could do, especially from an entrepreneurial perspective.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate it too, brother. But that combined with some of the more like relationships and other aspects of my life. Like I feel like having a hard time articulating. Apologies to everybody listening.
That's all right.
But I feel like I've learned, similar to you, Shelly, like in terms of what more I can handle as far as my own entrepreneurial ambitions. So to answer your question in terms of prospering for 19, it's to expand on that.
Right.
And similar, like you say, with the procrastinating, I feel like time is like the ultimate resource that we have. It's the most finite thing that we have. It's something that it's infinite. It's been here before us. Right. It's been here before us. It'll be here after us, but all we get is our square, right? And
you
it's
don't
like,
know
what
how
you
much.
do? Right. So, my goal for 19 is to reduce my downtime. And I feel like if I better utilize my time, it's going to lead to the prosperity.
Right. And that's kind of where I, decided to do this podcast. Not sitting back squandering away your hours. You're sitting back watching TV, twiddling your thumbs, watching TV shows, and it's just life is just passing you by when you can actually be doing something that actually can benefit somebody else.
Right.
And help yourself as well. Absolutely. And I guess for me, doing this podcast, it's more like it allows me to speak out, learn to speak a little, I guess more eloquently / being able to think faster, in my process of thinking, and that helps me.
I don't know, you're pretty quick.
Well, that's only when I'm actually going at people. But
that's another podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole other podcast. If I got something to say to you, I'm pretty much saying. But as far as, being able to put out good content, that's one of my big worries. But it just needs to come out natural, because the only thing I can do is give this myself to the public.
Absolutely.
And just be me.
Absolutely.
Be 100%.
Right.
Okay, so with all that being said, our main topic today is basically based on social media, where everybody knows somebody, but everybody knows nobody. So,
real talk.
I think a lot of people are lonely on podcast, and I'm sorry, not podcasts. Everybody is lonely on social media. And so I see a lot of young women that are putting themselves out there basically just wide open. And you see them on there a little bit more than usual, constantly posting content, getting naked, shaking their booty. They're craving for affection, attention, and among other things. And dudes are like I think everybody's just pretty much a attention whore at this point.
But don't you feel like that's like a symptom of this whole social media craze? Like, because to me, it's like social media, we're all connected, right? But like you said, the isolation, because the fact is, yeah, you can pick up your phone and get a snippet of somebody's life. But the thing is, that snippet that you're looking at is not authentic. Like, a lot of times it's curated, like people are...
Absolutely.
Every
like,
time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So,
Well, I mean, you gotta consider too, it's the ultimate and infinite job interview. You're always presenting yourself in the most
right.
positive light all the time.
And you lie.
And you lie.
You
Like
see
you said,
it.
it's curated,
Yeah.
it's manufactured.
You
a
only
lot of
see in
times.
those few best seconds of their
Yes.
life, and they're showing you, hey, look at me, I'm doing this, this, and that. I'm on a trip. I'm doing this, and they want to make it seem like, so you see those few pictures, say 10 pictures, and out of those 10 pictures, it may be over a span of 10 months.
Yeah.
And it make it seem like their life is so great.
It's
when
going
really
great
not.
all the time.
Right.
But how many people have ever seen someone on social media say, I lost my job today, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, or
Right.
I'm so hungry, look at my refrigerator, it's
Right.
bare.
Yeah.
You don't see those kind of things, but you will see pictures of people taking a photograph of a steak at a steakhouse,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, wow, why isn't my life so great?
And that's the best meal they had for the month.
Right.
But do we want to see that?
I think we do, and one of the things I think that really kind of hype this up is the fact that everybody online now is a celebrity. You can become a celebrity.
Basically.
Whereas before, you used to have a craft, a skill.
Right.
If we were going to see you and you were going to be a celebrity, you had to know how to sing, dance, act,
bring some type of value.
bring some type of value. But now you can be a celebrity for dressing well.
But more than being a celebrity, you have the ability to turn that into money,
Monetize
into
it.
dollars. Exactly. And so I think that is the biggest thing. That's why people are going on there. They're hoping that they can be the next
influencer.
Well, that goes back to
Yeah.
being lonely. They're so interested in your life, and they have to be because they don't really have anything going on. So that's why so many people have so much popularity, in the game, because the other people are sitting at home like, hey, I want that life. I want the life that person's living. That's
Life
just
that
how the
that
way I
person
look at it.
portraying.
Yeah, so they're portraying it. So it's like, oh, I want to be like this person, or because somebody's pretty. And I get why the girls put it on. They want attention from the guys. Does that stem back to daddy issues, or
No, I think it really has a lot to do with the way sometimes, I won't limit it just to women, but because we're talking about women, I think it places a lot of women and girls place their value, their self-worth on who wants them,
on likes,
or how many people like them.
Yeah.
Right? So if a guy you don't want or even likes your photograph, that's not gratifying.
It's still
I want the guy who everybody likes
right?
to like my photograph. And so that some people will call that clout chasing, right?
Yeah.
And they live for that.
I think it's more than just daddy issues too, based on like nature versus nurture. And not nurture in the household. I'm talking about nurture from commercialism and
Right,
just
society,
society in
yeah.
general has created this idea that women are supposed to want to be or look or be
a
as smart
pinup.
as, like a pinup all the time, and that's just it's not realistic, but it sells so much crap.
Now this is the thing that baffles me. Why is it that when guys actually give those women the attention that they're craving or portraying that they want, and they give it to them, then they get offended, or they portray themselves like a hoe, but a guy say, "Oh man, let me go and jump up and down," and he'll send like a instant message or whatever to the girl, and get in her DM.
She get curved.
And she get mad.
curving it.
Yeah, she gets upset but you just shaking your ass talking about it's so wet, or this, making my ass clap. I got that good, or whatever the hell
I
they
can
decide
tell
to
you,
do.
I think it may have to do with a woman's empowerment to be able to say
No.
Like, I wanted the attention. Thank you for the attention, but I had the power